What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
Am on.
Podcast, episode 149, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday morning. We had to go a little earlier today, um, but we here, ready to give you still those hot fire topics of the weekend. Hope everybody's having a good morning. You at work, you at home, whatever you're doing. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Also, everybody who's listening on the playback, we also appreciate you too. Maul, what is going on, brother?
Not much, man. You know what I mean? Feeling good right now. Minus, air in my tire keep going out. So I got to figure that out, man. It's annoying me right now. But besides that,
Break
good
down these
vibes.
new tires.
Good vibes, good energy. Don't tell me that because I'm not trying to spend money on that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to. Not saying I can't. I just don't want to right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to plan this trip. But yeah, man, feeling good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's nice outside. It's supposed to be 70s today. So,
Really
you know,
good, man. Summertime. Yo, it feel like springtime, pool season, bikini season. Feel like it's already here.
it's interesting. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Biker
Well, let's
shorts.
talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this fight, man, that happened on Saturday,
Yeah,
man.
man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
The Bivol or Bivol fight two card. Now, I admit, I didn't catch the Zane fight, the Caleb Smith fight,
Kelly
and
Smith fight was good. That was a good.
and
That was a good fight.
and the Carlos Ames and Shazier fight. I didn't catch neither one of those fights. I caught the main event. I caught the Parker and Bocoli fight. I caught the Shakur fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I caught the Ortiz and Mazdrabov fight. So you can go ahead and just give us a review on the Caleb Smith and what's the name fight.
Oh, Joshua
T.
Bawutsi fight.
Boise, yeah.
Buisi, honestly, man, it was a really good fight, man. Honestly, I thought Buisi did a really great job. Like, I've never seen him fight, but he was really impressive. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? There were some moments where I feel like Caleb Smith, just with, just the maturity in the ring. I'm not saying Boise didn't have that, but, Caleb Smith is a very seasoned fighter. You know what I mean? He's kind of like, this is kind of like his last hoorah and trying to get, like, a championship belt, to finish off his career. And he looked really impressive, man. I thought both fighters looked really impressive. It was a really close fight, but I agree with the decision. I think Caleb Smith looked really good in that ring. Um, I was truly impressed, man. Just the body work, headshots, him maintaining his energy throughout the entire fight. I thought it was really good. But I came out really impressed, Boisi. I thought this was one of the better fights on the card, man. I was truly impressed by both fighters.
Okay, for sure. Now I did see the fifth round knockdown from Zane. He knocked dude down in the fifth
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
Um, what's your thoughts on that fight?
You could just tell that I don't know what was up with Zhang. It seemed like he lost a lot of his energy real quick in that fight. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Just seemed like he was like real sluggish. Um, but my man,
mhm.
Kabali, I apologize if I'm butchering your name, my brother, but I was truly impressed by him. The power that he had, I was truly impressed. But I did come out surprised. I thought Zhang would come out and dominate that fight, but hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has a puncher's chance, especially with the power that my man had.
Okay, for sure. Now, like I said, I did catch the Ortiz and Mazdramov fight, Israel Mazdramov. I thought it was a really good fight.
Yeah.
I thought Israel in the beginning, he came out fast. It took a little bit of time for Ortiz, but I think Ortiz, like from like probably round six on, I thought he started getting his punches together, started, really attacking, stalking Israel, catching him and with combinations and stuff like that. And I came away impressed with Virgil Ortiz. I think he's in line for a primetime fight, whether it be Boots, whether maybe it be Crawford, maybe it be somebody else, Fedora, anybody at that 154. I'm all for Virgil Ortiz getting that big time fight for him because he deserves it because he was very impressive the way he came on. Probably like I said, round six on, you know what I'm saying? He was just stringing his punches together and he just started getting that you could tell he started getting that confidence in the later rounds and he just shout out to Mazdrov. He fought. He kept it going, you know what I'm saying? But I just think Ortiz, the youth, the athleticism, I just think took a toll on Mazdrov and Virgil Ortiz ended up winning, and I agree with the decision.
Nah, I agree with the decision totally. I think Madrimov just proves again why. Look, man, I know everybody. I know the big thing is everybody's trying to do the comparisons with Virgil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford, and people saying Virgil Ortiz look better than Terrence Crawford. Like, look, at the end of the day, man, I think we can all just attest that Madrimov is a very, very tough opponent as far as his style, his movement. You could tell with Virgil Ortiz, those body shots started slowing down Madrimov a lot. At this point, I think Boots needs to go ahead and take his spot in trying to fight Madrimov, because I would love to see the Virgil Ortiz and Boots fight, but I think it's an initiation thing with fighting Madrimov at this point to try to move on up. I think Boots needs to go ahead and try hit and see what he could do with Madrimov. You know what I mean? Because I think he's a tough opponent, even though he's had 2 losses. You got to come out very impressed with him. And then with Virgil Ortiz, man, I think he's a stud, man. He's a great talent. I texted you earlier. Give me the Boots Virgil Ortiz fight. I think that's the fight that I personally want to see. I don't know if the masses would want to see that as far as like being an overwhelming consideration as far as like other potential fights that could be thrown out his way. But me personally, I would love to see the Boots fight. I think this is something that I think both of these guys need, especially more so Boots, because if you look at his just kind of like record amongst who he's fought, it could be a little bit more impressive. You know what I mean? There's a lot of appetite left for who he can fight and face in the future. And I think these are one of the names that he needs to do. And then, him pulling out of the fight, I think late last year, beginning of this year, I think it didn't look too good for him in that whole situation. So Boots is kind of like in that teetering zone. Like, obviously, we know he's a very impressive guy. I know we're going to talk about Shakur here in a little bit, but he's kind of like at that same moment right now where people are kind of like, we know you have the talent, but we need to see the competition rise up. We need to see you, go up against some of the top elite guys for us to be able to put you up there with a Gervonta Tank Davis or a Terrence Crawford or, some of these other guys that have been proven that, they're up for the main stage. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's left for Boots. But Virgil Ortiz, salute. Great show.
Yeah, as far as Boots go, let's see how he looks against Stannis. If he looks very impressive against Stannis, I could see him pushing for the Boots and Ortiz fight. But we got to see how it looks. See how he looks against him. If he can unify the welterweight belts through that way, then yeah, go ahead and fight Virgil Ortiz. Maybe on the Canelo and Terrence Crawford card. Maybe we can get it on there. So we'll see though. Then like I said, I didn't get to see the Ames and Shazier fight. I heard there was some controversy with that fight.
Yeah, I think the main thing was that the Turk Al-Sheikh, he went to the corner and he was giving what's his name, Hamza, letting his corner know that he was down 2 rounds. And a lot of people took a lot of controversy to that, like he was kind of like steering him to know that he needs to buckle down. But I don't think that's really a big deal. I don't know why people are making a big deal, like, okay, he's letting him know that he's down 2 rounds, he's telling him to pick the fuck up. I've heard that in many of corners plenty of times where people have told the boxer that's in the ring, like, hey, you're down, you need to hurry the fuck up, like you need to get your shit going. So I don't see why that's an issue. Overall, I was kind of like in and out. I had some things going on during this portion of the fight, so I didn't really get to see everything, but I think that's the main controversy I've been hearing about, but I really don't think that's much of anything to me.
Okay, for sure. And then, of course, you had Shakur Stevenson. Unfortunately, Floyd Schofield, he got sick while he was out there. Hope he has a speedy recovery. But they had Padley. It was Joshua Padley.
Yeah, Joshua Padley. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He stepped in on 4 days' notice, and I give him to do. You know what I'm saying, for stepping in for 4 days' notice and to go 9 rounds with Shakur Stevenson. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell dude has a little skills about him, but it was just levels to it. I think this was the best Shakur Stevenson we've seen in a long time, from the defense, from the combinations that he put together. He ended up getting a 9th round knockdown with the body shots. I think the body shots eventually took his toll on Padley, and he caught him 3 times to the body to get TKO and pretty much win the fight. And hey man, shout out to Shakur Stevenson. I want to see him they could set up the Tank fight, cool, but I wouldn't mind seeing him against Cepeda or anybody else that's at that 135 range. Frank Martin, whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing any of those guys against him. So shout out to Shakur Stevenson for putting on a very good performance. I was highly impressed and highly happy to see him show up and show out.
Yeah, anybody who's saying anything that, Shakur put them to sleep this fight, it's just unfair criticism. You guys are just trolling at this point. I thought this was really, really impressive. I get it. We're all disappointed that we didn't get the original fight that we first saw on the card. But, shout out to Padley. He came in, he showed out. He showed his toughness. But, it was a clinic. Like Shakur Stevenson really put on a clinic with just accuracy, punching power, speed. Decision making, defense, like he put on a total clinic, man. And you got to give him a lot of credit though. He was battling a lot of battling that left hand. You could tell he was grimacing. I think he kind of started like in that fifth round area where something happened, and that's been kind of his biggest thing is his hands. As delicate as they are, that's the only thing that really sucks with Shakur Stevenson. He's kind of going through that whole Floyd Mayweather thing where he kind of transferred from pretty boy to money, but. As I said, very, very impressive. This is probably his best show in the last couple of years, man. And I'm with you. Give me the Tank, give me Cepeda, give me some Frank Martin, maybe a Ryan Garcia, whatever the case may be. I think he deserves his chance to be the main event for a fight. And I think the Turk will try to see if he can figure something out for him.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, Daniel Dubois wasn't able to fight against Joshua Parker. He got sick also, so we had Martin Piccoli come in and fight Parker. Parker ended up getting a second round knockout. I think that if Piccoli probably had a little bit more of a training camp, it probably would have been a different fight, or at least a closer fight. But shout out for Joshua Parker, man. He got a big win over Piccoli. And he'll probably possibly get a look at him fighting Usyk or somebody like that. So shout out to him, and he has a win over Deontay Wilder. He has a win over Zhang, and he has a win over Piccoli. Now maybe they'll rematch and do the Daniel Dubois fight, and then those two will fight Usyk maybe top of next year. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Shout out to Joshua Parker. He handled business. He did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, man. I don't think anybody should take anything away from Joshua Parker. He was dealt circumstances, and he performed pretty well. As far as Piccoli though, I don't think that should strip away his boogeyman status though. Like I thought he looked really impressive. Like even if you were watching the fight, they even kind of said like my man was in the Congo trying to get like some visas so he can fight in the States. Like he wasn't even training. He was like partially training. And you could tell like just the way his body looked. Like I don't think he was in shape. And then honestly, for the first half. The first round and probably half of the second, I thought he was the better fighter. It looked like I was like, oh, Joshua Parker about to go down. You know what I mean? It would have been some like real historical shit, like Piccoli just coming in and knocking out a great fighter in Parker. Like Parker's a really amazing fighter, but Parker was able to hit him in the back of the head and. Like Piccoli took one shot that was like it would put a lot of people down, but he kind of just shook it off. Like he was, I ain't never seen anything like that. At that moment, if I'm Parker, I'm like, oh shit, it's about to be a long night. But then he was able to crack him in the back of the head, and that kind of like did it. I know a lot of people were kind of surprised that the corner called it a little bit quick. I'm not though, because I think they even knew like he's coming in cold. He really wasn't training. His body wasn't really ready for a fight like this, and you didn't want to put him in harm's way. They were probably like, yo, let's just go out here, see what we can do. If there is a knockdown,
because don't he got a fight coming up against the other African dude?
He was supposed to have a fight coming up in a couple months, but I think it was like in like 3 months. I think it might have been like in June or May or something like that. But I think maybe that might get post back because I think he's gonna have to be at least out for 30 days. You know how they have the mandatory 30 days, and depending on how his evaluation go, it could be a little bit longer. So so obviously he's not going to be able to get back into the ring at least the earliest April. From the way it's looking. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to push that back and maybe put it on the Terrence Crawford Canelo card. You know what I mean? I think having Piccoli over here in the States would do really good. You know what I mean? For him, I think Piccoli anyway, those are just some of the names that I think we need to see more in the stateside. I think that can help their brand grow because Bicoli is. I don't care what people say. Even with that loss, I think Bicoli is one of the scariest fighters in the world right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think Bicoli's still one of the greats, and I wouldn't be mad if they decided to do like I agree Parker should get the Dubois fight. I think he deserves that, but I think Bicoli should get one of these bigger fights. I was hoping for the Bicoli Zhang fight, but obviously with the Zhang situation, I don't know what's gonna be up with that. So I don't know who will be willing to fight Bicoli. I don't care if you're a boxer. You saw that, you're like, nah, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. And Joshua, nah, he don't want that shit, bro. He don't want that shit. He don't want those problems.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
But yeah, I'll say this before we transfer. I'm sorry. Shout out to Turk Al-Sheikh. You know what I mean? Like great card. He even kind of mentioned some of the fights he already has confirmed. The rematch with Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, the Canelo Crawford fight. He has a whole bunch of fights coming up towards the end of the year, man. So shout out to him, man. He's doing amazing things, man. Well deserved for the Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer, bro. Hey, Turk gonna know us, bro. And he gonna give us $50 million to do an exclusive podcast for his pay-per-views, bro. Shout out to the Hall of Famer, bro. Well deserved, bro. Amazing.
Right on, Turk. The excellency.
Let's
talk about this main event, man. Beterbiev, Bivol was a great fight. Can be up there with fight of the year with Morel and Benavidez. Bivol came out early. I thought he came out in the early rounds and was putting combinations together, was moving around on Beterbiev. But I think Beterbiev's those body shots started slowing down Bivol in the middle rounds, like probably from 6 to like 9. I thought that Beterbiev was giving Bivol a little bit of issues, and he wasn't really throwing his punches. You know what I'm saying? I think he started feeling a little bit of that power a little bit. But then after like the 9th round, I think Bivol started understanding, all right, I got to start getting it together. And I thought he won 10. I gave him the 10th and the 11th round. So I thought it came down to the 12th round because I thought it was pretty much tied up. Or my takeaway was either Bivol is going to he was going to win the fight or it was going to be a draw.
Yeah.
And so I thought Beterbiev won the 12th round. I just thought that Bivol didn't do enough. I thought he kind of held his punches a little bit because I think he thought he was winning. And I just thought Beterbiev just put his punches together. So I had it a draw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not mad if you had Bivol winning because, you know what I'm saying, it just depends on what rounds you had in the earlier rounds. But I had it a draw, but I'm not mad at the outcome. If they have a trilogy, I'm not mad at that. If they move on with Bivol and Benavidez, I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. This is an amazing fight. You kind of just saw the battle of styles, you know what I mean, with Beterbiev and that just walk you down brute force to Bivol just outboxing you with power, you know what I mean. And you kind of saw that. You kind of saw just kind of like the beginning parts. It looked like Bivol was looking really good, and Beterbiev just kind of like controlled the whole middle portion of the fight. And then I don't know what happened. Something just switched where Bivol just got his confidence back. It looked like it looked like those middle rounds looked like he was just trying to like, let me just stand in front of him. Let's just see what happens. Because he seemed like he was more flat-footed those middle rounds.
Maybe he was trying to reserve his energy because maybe he was thinking of the first fight. Remember the first fight? He came out the first 9. He was just like on it. And then the back part, he kind of was like slowing down. I think he learned from that. Was like, you know what? Let me reserve. I'm gonna let him get his shit off these rounds, and then 10 on, I'm back at it. I'm on it.
Yeah, no doubt. And it could have 100% been the way that you're describing. You know what I mean? It just seemed like a little weird, a little off. Like it just didn't look like Bivol, like the Bivol that we've known to see. But I don't know, something just clicked, man. And it seemed like he was just back to himself. Where maybe he was just like, all right, from this round, 7th, 8th round, I'm gonna go for it. And then I agree with you. I think like the last round just seemed like he was comfortable, maybe with his perception on maybe the way the score was going, maybe the way the fight was going. So he was like, I'm not going to put myself in that much of danger. I'll pick and pop, pick my spots as far as like that final round. But Beterbiev, I thought, did win that final round. And if you wanted it to be a draw, I wouldn't mind. But I knew for the fact with just the way this fight was going and just the potentials of a trilogy, what it could do, and how much people would want to see that. I'm not surprised. Like, I thought Bivol, it could have went either way. Same like as the last fight. It really could have went either way. Decided I wouldn't have been mad if you said Beterbiev won or Bivol won or whatever. I'm not going to be that upset about it. These are just two classic great fighters that gave us two great matchups. And I think this thing deserves a trilogy. You know what I mean? I know there's some people that, have been kind of questioning, maybe Beterbiev wanting to do a trilogy and all that. I think he came out and said he's down to do a trilogy. I know I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to go out with a loss, you know what I mean? But I think that's what we deserve. I know Benavidez has been kind of like the spoken for, like, guy's gonna get the winner of this. But I think with how close this fight was, how great these fights have been, I think this thing deserves a trilogy. I think this thing deserves a bigger spotlight. Like, I'm not, and honestly, look, I know I've been complaining about a lot of the crowd involvement in these overseas Saudi Arabia fights. I thought this was probably the best showing of a crowd. I don't know, maybe, I don't know what the causes of that could have been. I don't know if they allowed more outsiders from the countries to come in and be involved in the fight. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm really surprised that the venue wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. Like, for the massive amount of fights that we got, I thought the venue was a little bit smaller. But look, man, I wouldn't be mad if they put a Bivol Beterbiev. I know it's been the main event for a lot of fights, but I wouldn't be mad if this was like the co-main event for the Canelo Crawford fight. I wouldn't be mad. Put that fight at Allegiant. I think that fight deserves to have a lot of eyes on that fight. And again, shout out to the Turk, man. $25 pay-per-view, man. Like, it can't get no better, bro. It was a great thing, man. But shout out to both of these fighters, man. I hope we get the trilogy. And Benavidez, hey, if he gets Benavidez, cool. I'm looking forward to the Benavidez Bivol fight. I thought, as I said before, I thought Benavidez would match up a lot better against Bivol than Beterbiev, to me, just who Beterbiev is. So even if we do get the Benavidez Bivol fight, I think that would be amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if that could be something that could be potentially put on maybe the undercard of the Canelo, like be the co-main event of Canelo Crawford. You know what I mean? That might be something to look at forward to. But hey, man, shout out to both guys, man. Shout out to the whole card, man. It was amazing.
What would you give the grade on the card?
Obviously it's a little disappointment. We didn't get the original card that we said, but overall, with the fights that we've gotten and the replacements that put in, I'm still giving it an A, man. I'm still giving it like an A minus. It was a really, really great card. Pally, shout out to him stepping up. But Coley, even though it was a short-lived fight, those 3-4 minutes that we got out of that fight was one of the most exciting parts of the whole night. And then the main event was just an all-time classic. It was one of the better fights that we're going to get. That's going to be something that's put in the film rooms as far as like just ultimate classics, man. It was a great fight, man. The whole card was just really good. And you even had some controversy with the middle portion of the fight. So you get a little bit of everything, man. It was good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Like you said, unfortunately, we didn't get the original fights, but I thought the Virgil Ortiz Monster Draw fight was a banger. It was a dope fight, and then of course the main event, you pair that with Shakur Stevenson and his performance, and then you add in the Smith fight. Yeah, you definitely got to give it I give it an 8.5 possibly. So it was a really good card. I enjoyed myself, and hey, man, I'm looking forward to the next fight card.
Yeah, Frank, who is it? Roach and Tate this weekend.
Yeah, so all right, man, we gotta talk about Mr. Steve Smith Sr. Yeah, my man's a savage out here, man.
Super.
Rearranging women's insides.
Sorry.
So there was a video going around where the man's wife called Steve Smith Sr. And said, "Hey, man, you've been sleeping with my wife. What you got to say?"
Yeah.
And Steve Smith, he was quiet for a little bit because I think he was shocked. And then he said, "Sorry."
Yeah. Nah.
What do you want the man to say? And you're supposed to check the woman. Don't check him. He don't owe you no loyalty, man. Yeah. Check your woman. Yeah. But anyway, there were some text messages that got leaked out, and supposedly she said something about, pretty much my man did some damage to her insides. messed up part. What's it called? UDI,
IUD, IUD.
IUD. That's the thing that helps women not get pregnant. It's like
Mhm.
the birth control thing.
Mhm.
And I guess he messed it up.
Yeah, some of these pictures are crazy. Yeah, some of these pictures are crazy. Here, I can't even. Here, I'll even do a little something for y'all. Um, I'm gonna do a little something for y'all. I'll do a little something for y'all. So these are this is the picture, and then obviously she made a comment on her Facebook. As you can read it right there, it says, "Hi, I am Nicole Martinez. Though I won't be Martinez much longer. You see, I've been cheating on my husband, and I have been doing so with the very famous Steve Smith Sr. Pics attached for reference. I had him under 3. But that's been fixed. My husband bought me a house. He stood by my side after I had been arrested twice for domestic violence. And this is how I repay him and our son. There's plenty of messages here, Steve. Crazy the kind of revealing messages the celebrity will send. Baltimore Ravens, I am also a member of your team band. I believe I violated some fraternization rules by hooking up with Steve at the training facility. This man even did it at the facility. Crazy work. There's a video of him wearing the band fit, like he was like, the lead band guy. Yeah, man, Steve Smith, bro. Like, I get it. Like, I think homie, I agree with you though. I think homie needs to talk to his wife more so than to Steve Smith. Even though Steve Smith, man, that's dirty work. You know what I mean? You probably knew she was a married woman.
You're a
Still
married
dirty work.
man.
What's up?
You're a married man.
You're a married man as well. With I don't know how many kids you got. You got like 3, 4 kids or something like that. So yeah, it's dirty season. That picture is hilarious though. That picture in the middle with him just grinning and looking down, talking about the rearranging of an IUD is crazy work. But hey, let me ask you: do you think this affects his NFL Network status, especially with him, possibly, having sexual relations at the Baltimore Ravens training facility, just the publicity and all that? Do you think this affects his standing with the NFL Network?
Oh man, it might. It might. They try to find anything to get rid of them people, and it depends on the backlash. Is the backlash warranted enough to get him fired? You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and how valuable do they think he is as an asset to the
Yeah.
NFL Network? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he brings in ratings, then I don't know. They might just sit him down for a little bit and then
Yeah.
bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's really big during this time because during the draft season, he breaks down a lot of
He
the
does.
guys that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see if he's not out there during draft time. Then we know we got our answer.
He got suspended at
Yeah.
least. Do you think
So
the Baltimore Ravens will invite him back to the training facility?
I don't think Baltimore cares. They got
They
their
got a lot
own.
of stuff going on though.
Look, they got their own set of
They got
problems.
they got a lot of problems going.
You
They got a
got
lot of
guys over
problems.
there being nasty over there. You got dudes with DUIs. Like it's mad though. It's mad nasty over there right now. Steve Smith is the least of their issues. He's not even on the team no more. Like
Yeah,
you don't
I'll
even
feel
need to come back.
I'll feel you. Who do you think is the most at fault with this whole situation? Who you think is the most embarrassing? Who or embarrassed themselves the most? The guy putting this out on Front Street, the woman for doing what she did, or is it Steve Smith?
Well, Steve Smith is the least embarrassed because at the end
I
of the
agree.
day, I mean, it
It
is
is.
what it is. I think the dude is the most embarrassing for putting his business out there. Like, bro,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What did you want to accomplish? Did you want to out Steve Smith Senior and us look at him differently? Yeah, it's nasty. You home wrecked the man's home, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's some nasty work. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But at the end of the day, is this the first time she did it? I'm not trying to speculate, but is it because she's a football player, or is she out here? Was she out here doing dirty work already? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know y'all relationship. Like, I don't know what's going on between you two. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. But I think he's the one that's gonna be left out embarrassed because at the end of the day, okay, they get divorced. She moves on, and he's sitting there left there looking crazy, and everybody's gonna look at him like, "Damn, man, Steve Smith smashed your wife, man." Like, and you
Yeah,
put it
it's a
out
cold
there.
world. It's a cold
So
world, man. People get cheated on every day, B. It
yeah,
just is what it is. Like,
so
at the end of the day, it's just like I think there's an even embarrassment. I think with the chick, obviously, with the story on that Facebook, if that's true, her, having domestic violence cases and all that. You got your wife, you got kids. It's embarrassing to your family and all that, but it's also embarrassing for the dude. You put it on Front Street, acting like you were trying to embarrass Steve Smith, but in reality, people are just gonna be like, "Hey, Steve Smith a dog." You know what I mean? He took your wife, and the game is the game. You know what I mean? So that's just how some people think about that shit like that. You know what I mean? But I think all parties have a little bit of embarrassment to it.
Now it could be embarrassing for Steve Smith too, because now he has to deal with he got to deal with his
At
wife,
home. Yep.
his kids. You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna look at him differently? You know what I'm saying? That could mess up. That could ruin your relationship with your kids when they find out you cheat on your mom. The children cheat on your moms. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how this plays out for him too. So
yeah, I'll be curious to see if he's around during the combine. I agree with you. Like combines this week. I'm curious to see if he's going to be a part of that coverage, or they might just send him out this week. But I agree with you. The draft is going to say a lot as far as like the coverage around that and pro days and stuff like that. I agree with you. So, look, man, hey, prayers to all the parties involved, man.
Yeah,
man. It sucks to even be a part of anything like that in the limelight. I know situations like this happen every day. It's not like no one died, but families are getting destroyed to a degree. So it does suck, man. So prayers out to everybody, man. Hopefully they all find resolutions and happiness moving forward. Families move on, find peace, man. And we do not condone cheating or breaking up homes. We do not condone that. Like, I think that's dirty work. I get it. You don't know the dude, but he does have a happy home. Let's not ruin happy homes.
And at the end of the day, it messes with the kids too.
It does. Like, it does. It does. Absolutely.
You got a son on this side that his life is gonna forever change, and then you got Steve Smith's kids. Their lives are gonna change. So
100%. Yeah. So prayers out to everybody.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Let's talk about the NFL Combine, man. It happens this week, man.
Yes, sir.
Thursday, I think we got the offensive lineman on Thursday. Is it Thursday or is it Friday?
I think it's no, I think it starts Thursday. I think
Thursday,
it's
and then Friday,
Saturday, Sunday, I think.
Yeah. So and then Friday, I think it's DBs and tight ends. I think Saturday is running backs, wide receivers, and then I think Sunday is the quarterbacks. I think that's how it rolls. But
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something like that. But just who are some players that you're watching out for? Guys maybe that of course you got the mainstays, but who are some under the radar guys that can booster their stock to you in this combine this weekend?
I think there's quite a few wide receivers that I think we all need to really pay attention to. Obviously, our homegrown Ricky White. I'm very curious to see how he performs and the perception of him. We both of us have him in high regards. We saw what he was capable of doing with the UNLV Rebels on the offensive side and on special teams. He was a big key player on special teams, so I think that would definitely help boost him up. Arian Smith from Georgia. He's a wide receiver. Very quick wide receiver. I think he's going to put up some really good numbers for this combine. I know there's been a lot of comparisons of him and Jamison Williams. So that might be somebody to take a look at. Speed always dominates, and especially with receivers, man, and how fast some of these guys go. We saw that with, one of your guys, that got drafted last year. Xavier Restrepo. I thought he was one of the more better wide receivers at Miami, and I think he could put up some really good numbers. I think he'll be a really, really good receiver in the NFL. And Ted Johnson, I know he's part of Oregon. He's one of the better known guys, but Ted Johnson is like, he don't get put up there with the best receivers at all times, but that boy is nasty. That boy is nice. As far as like other positions, I think with the running back positions, obviously, I'm not going to talk about the Ohio State guys, Amari Hampton, but Ollie Gordon, I think that'll be a name that you got to look at. And then obviously Donovan Edwards, man. A lot of people had Donovan Edwards high. A couple years ago, he could have been probably like one of the better running backs, but he's dropped a little bit considerably. I think Donovan Edwards is a really good running back, and I think he can potentially move himself up. As far as like the defensive side, let's go with the linebackers. Jackson Woodard, man. I'm gonna stick hometown grown, man. I think that's another gentleman that we should also take a look at. He was one of the best linebackers in the country last year, and I hope he does well, so I can see his stock going up high. But those are just a couple of the guys that I think we should watch out for.
Yeah, just with the wide receivers. I know he's considered a high pick, but I think Luther Burden can gain and lose a lot this weekend. Like if he runs in the like 4.5s or something, or he runs like a low 4.4, or doesn't do good in the drills or whatever whatnot, I think you can lose some stock in this and drop a little bit.
Yeah.
And depending on how he does in the interviews too. You saw a little bit of frustration on his face, which is understandable. He's coming in thinking he was going to have a great year and solidify himself as one of the better wide receivers. And we saw it in his junior year, how explosive the kid is, and how he can be a really good wide receiver. And we all feel like he's going to take it to the next level in the NFL. But I think he can solidify himself in this weekend and run a good 40 time, look good in the shuttle runs, and some of the route running things that they have them do. I'm very interested to see how Luther Burden looks. Isaiah Bond is another one. He didn't live up to the expectations that everybody thought. Now I know he got hurt, but he didn't live up. A lot of people was looking at Isaiah Bond like he was going to be an Xavier Worthy type. You know what I'm saying? Like Xavier Worthy was very productive with Texas, and
Mhm.
so everybody thought, okay, he's coming over from Alabama. He's going to come over into this Texas offense. And in the beginning, he looked like he was starting to get that, but then I think the injury had a little bit to do with that, but it kind of stunted his season, and
Yeah.
so he can gain a lot if he runs a close 40 time like Xavier Worthy, has a good, some shuttle drills and all that stuff. I think he could booster his stock. I'm with you with Tez. Um, Xavier Rushborough. I think he's going to be a surprise for some people when they see him on that field. Like
Mhm.
I think the dude I just think he's a really good football player. At the end of the day, he's not the fastest guy. I heard Tom McShay talk about this dude. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the biggest guy, but he
He
just
gets it
catches
done.
everything. He just catches everything.
Big
He runs.
catches too. Big
Yeah,
catches too. Yeah, yeah, he's nice.
he runs great routes, and anybody who gets him, I think you're going to get a good slot receiver for sure. So
Yeah.
another guy is Jalen Royals. Look out for that dude from Utah State. Dude is nice, big, fast. Um, and then some of the Colorado wide receivers,
Yeah.
Weister and Horn.
Yeah.
Um, those guys can boost their stock too.
Hmm.
And possibly boosted themselves up to a day two pick, possibly. You know what I'm saying? If they run really well. Both of those guys made big plays in Colorado, so we'll get to see them. Some of these tight ends too. Elijah Aurora, I'm excited to see what this kid can do. He's been getting a lot of hype coming into there. Gunnar Helm from Texas, he's another one. Um, them Ohio tight ends is always good. Luke Lachey,
Oh yeah.
he's got good upside, and of course Mason Taylor, LSU tight end, Jason Taylor's son. He's another one that can possibly boost themselves in this draft. And then of course you got the like you said, the linebackers, but I'm gonna go with the corners.
Hmm.
That's another position that we got to look out for. Kobe Bryant from Kansas, um, Zay Alexander, Billy Bowman Jr. from Oklahoma, Denzel Burke. He was highly touted coming into this season, but his stock kind of dropped a little bit. But he's another one from Ohio State that we could look out for. But yeah, um, it's going to be some interesting things. Some of these quarterbacks too. They're gonna have to boost their stock. The Dylan Gabriels, the Riley Leonards, Jalen Milroy, um, Kyle McCoy, some guys like that. The Tyler Skog kid from Louisville, like those are some guys that can boost their stock in this draft this year if they have a good combine. So those
Yeah.
are some of the guys that definitely gonna be looking out for.
Yeah, I got the slate right here. So yeah, everything starts Thursday, the 27th. You got defensive linemen and linebackers on Thursday.
Okay.
Friday you have DBs and tight ends. Saturday you have running backs, quarterbacks, and wide receivers. And then Sunday will be offensive linemen. So out of all those days, which one are you for your team? Which one are you most looking forward to as far as like any of the days?
I mean, in the day with the wire, the DBs, defensive linemen, of course,
Yeah.
linebackers too.
Hmm.
Any of those guys, and I'm always going to look out for wide receivers that you can get day 2, day 3 picks,
Hmm.
guys that can booster themselves. You know what I'm saying? See, okay, I can see the Chiefs possibly spending a 4th or 5th round pick on this guy. You know what I'm saying? Bring him into the system and see what he could do. Tight ends too. I want to see how the tight ends do. So,
Yeah.
any of those tight ends we possibly pick up and be the hair apparent to Travis Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, any like D line, linebacker, because we got some Nick Bolton might not be a Chief next year, so we
It's a
might need
possibility.
another linebacker next year. So
Yeah.
yeah, any of those positions, you know what I'm saying. But I'm interested as a football fan as a whole. I'm a me and Maul kind of NFL football nerd, so
Hmm.
we watch them all.
Yeah, no, everything. Yeah, we're watching everything because we know, especially with the some of the players that have been linked to our said franchises that we root for.
Mhm.
Those are gonna be a lot of the guys that we kind of look at. Maybe some of the guys maybe around those same guys as far as like the number they're expected to be picked at. Look, man, honestly, this is the start of the 2026 season. Combine to me is always the official start to that because now we're pretty much in draft season.
Mhm.
Free agency season is pretty much 2 weeks after that. So it's getting rolling. And then obviously after April, things start slowing down until we get to training camp. So look, man, it's gonna be a pretty exciting 2 months here going in. It's gonna go by pretty fast. I feel like the draft is gonna be here in the blink of an eye. Once we get past March Madness, then it's pretty much just here. So so I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see how these guys perform. Obviously, this isn't the end all be all. I mean, I think tape should be the
Yeah.
main consideration
Then we
of
still
where
got
these guys
pro
go.
days and
Pro
stuff
days,
like
all
that.
that
So,
stuff like that. And a lot of these are guys in shorts and controlled environments, man. Even with the
yeah.
pro days, so it's not like it's
Mhm.
anything too stressful for them. I think at the end of the day, the video tapes, the game tapes say it all. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the major problems with people trying to analyze a lot of these players. I think the main thing with these players, I think the most important thing for the combine, if I was like one of the guys that was involved with the scouting team and I had to, talk to these guys, would be the personality, the triggering factors, like what gets these guys triggered, their motivational factors, stuff like that. I think is the most important thing to me. As far as like play on the field, that's all game tape. Like what you did on
Mhm.
that college football field will tell me a lot if you can play. You play, your bigger games, the bigger key moments. I think some of those things are more important than these pro days. Like, what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you can run a 4-2. Yeah, you could throw a 60-yard, 70-yard bomb. Yeah, you could throw it to a wide receiver who doesn't have a cornerback on him. Anybody can do that. Hell, me and Cris can go out there and look like some some top notch, players to be scouted out as in situations like that. But at the end of the day, man, that's what I would be looking for. I don't know what you're if you were a scout and you were one of these guys, I don't know what you would look for. If you want to tell us some of the things that you would look for, what would it be?
I mean, I will be honest with you. Yes, I get it there in shorts, but I do want if you're a DB or wide receiver or running back, I do want to see your athleticism.
Yeah.
I do want to see that. I do want to see your speed. I know I get it. You're running more so in the cone drills, the
Mhm.
shuttle runs, and all that stuff.
Reaction
I
times and stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get
yeah. I do want to see you do well
you. Mhm.
in those drills. No, it's not the end all be all. We've had guys who have bombed at the combine and then get on the field and kill it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's not the end all be all. But I would, if I'm a scout, I do want to report something back. Like, hey, dude is pretty good. He runs
Yeah.
pretty fast. He did pretty good in these drills. And on top of that, he had a good interview. When I
Yeah.
talked to him, I liked what he said. I liked his tenacity. I like his intangibles, on top of the athleticism and all that stuff. In the
Absolutely. Yeah.
offensive lineman, it's hard to, those positions are hard to grade at a combine. Like, these guys are backpedaling, just,
Yeah, it's just
just
like I think
there.
more so it's like those are like game tape guys. Like I totally agree with you as far as the Robert Sear cornerbacks. You kind of want to see the reaction time and all that, and
Yeah.
how they see the game when you have the
Mhm.
interviews and stuff like that. But I
Mhm.
think with the OLs and the D linemen, I think that's just game tape. Like you just know,
Yeah.
like bro, can you push a motherfucker off? How many moves do you got? You have a go-to move that works every time, especially with some of these D linemen,
Mhm.
offensive linemen. Are you quick enough to get off the snap count so you can protect? Can you block some of the top tier guys? I think all that's game tape to me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't think a combine's going to really prove anything in that sense, you know?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I can't judge this offensive lineman off of him hitting the pads. Like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Do you think they should change the combine a little bit? Maybe have the D line and the O line go against each other a little bit.
I don't know if they'll ever do that because the risk of the injury just goes higher with that. I think it will be more entertaining because you'll get those one-on-one matchups and we see videos of high school players, college players that go through one-on-ones and stuff like that where it's highly entertaining. You know what I mean? Now, will they do that? I don't know. I think that's something that they should consider. I think they should low-key consider doing 7-on-7 games. You know what I mean? Like, let's just see how you act in these 7-on-7 games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just like a flag football, we're not asking you to tackle. But let me see, like receivers, can you guard one-on-one? Let's do one-on-ones with some of these cornerbacks and wide receivers. I think that will be must-see TV. I think they should definitely add that because at the end of the day, you're not tackling. So I don't think the risk of injury will be too high. I think with the O-line and D-lineman, you're actually adding physical contact. There's going to be some physical contact with the wide receivers. But at the end of the day, I think with receivers and cornerbacks, I think they should easily do that. I think that's something they should really strongly consider.
Okay, for sure.
Or even for quarterbacks, because with the 7-on-7s, it's not full 11-on-11s, but when you got those extra players and you can see how players react as far as like playing in a it's a controlled setting to a degree, but you just see how players react, like reaction times. How can they play off the ball? How they play the fade? How can these quarterbacks throw when they actually have somebody? Shit like that will make it a little bit like, all right, something about that young man. It's it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's 7-on-7, but it's still competition right there.
Do you think everybody's being stupid about Shedeur not performing in this?
I think this fucking idiocy, bro. Like, I don't know what people are like. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's one of my hell no's, and it's more geared to Raider fans that I've been seeing who've been complaining. So I'm not gonna get too into it now, but I think it's just idiot behavior, man. There's been too many examples of players and top tier draftees that don't throw. Like we saw it last year with Drake May. We saw it last year, with a couple Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and then throw. Like and then they came out perfectly fine. Shedeur Sanders, I just think this whole, his dad and his name and him being part of it and him trying to control where he goes, and I just think it's just pure idiocy, bro. You got people complaining about his dad is too involved with his career, and it's just like, why wouldn't you want an all-time Hall of Famer dad who loves his son that wants only the best for his son? So it's just dumb shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Ashton Jeanty just announced that he's not doing anything in the draft. Like, is that gonna hurt his stock?
No.
When Arch Manning comes out, he ain't throwing at the combine. Sorry, he's not. Sorry.
He would have to have like a bad season and like.
And even then, I don't think the Mannings aren't going to allow that. They're going to make sure. Do you think Jackson Dart's going to throw? I don't think he's throwing, me personally, but
I do. I think Jackson Dart.
You think Jackson Dart throws?
Yeah.
I don't think he does everything, but I think he might do a little something.
I think he throws. I think Riley Leonard throws. I think all those
throws.
Yeah, I think all those second tier guys are going to throw.
I just think the only reason why I say Jackson Dart is because I think he's just been anointed as the third quarterback. I just think he's just been anointed that. So I feel like it's like, why even damage that anointment when I could just literally just kick back, just do my interviews, and then y'all could just see me throw and where I want y'all to see me at Ole Miss. Like that's why I think he ain't gonna throw.
That's a good point. But maybe he's like, I'm gonna show these boys I'm the best.
Hey, if he does, salute, because you're not scared of. I'm not saying anybody that does want to throw is scared at the moment, but it just shows like, hey, I'm about the shit. I don't care. Like,
because I think most of that's the agents.
You know what I mean?
Because that's the agents mostly. Like, hey, we're not gonna throw at the combine. We're gonna wait till your pro day. You're not gonna mess up my money.
So as I'm throwing all this stuff to you, and you're Jackson Dart's agent, you'll be like, maybe the best situation is let's not do this. Maybe we could do a couple of the other things, but we're not gonna throw. We'll do the bench press, we'll do the 40, we'll do all that shit. But throwing, we'll wait till Ole Miss. You know what I mean? We'll do the interviews. Let's ace those out because pretty much he's been anointed the third best quarterback, and then on top of that, there's still potential that he might get drafted over Shedeur Sanders, especially with all the noise coming out of there. But that could just be noise. But the potential is there, I think. You know what I mean? I've been said it before. Jackson Dart seems like the guy that could eventually overtake a Shedeur Sanders Maybe even I think it's going to be a little harder for Cam Ward because I think everybody's put Cam Ward as this solidified one. But even then, if Jackson Dart outperforms, he's an SEC quarterback that's throwing some great numbers, man. I just wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing that Jackson Dart could be favorites to be the number one pick for certain teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting weekend, man. Definitely looking forward to it. I love this time around football, you know what I'm saying? All right, man, let's do our BetUS Surefire picks, man.
Let's do it. All right, man.
What you got?
All right, man. So tonight I got 3 games. I got the Celtics -7. Oh no, my bad. I'm reading the wrong one. My bad. I got the Pacers +5 over the Nuggets. I think the Pacers have been playing really well. I know everybody was hyped on the Nuggets winning the 9 games in a row, but as I said before, that slate of 9 games, if you really look at it, were against mediocre to below average teams. I think the Pacers are playing really, really good. I would take the Pacers +5 at home. I would not be surprised if they won that game. I got the Pistons +2.5. They've been playing really, really well. Cade Cunningham has looked amazing. He's jumping up the rankings. Clippers, they I don't know what's going on with the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, he's out with a foot injury. So I like the Pistons the way they've been playing. So I got them +2.5. I won't be surprised if they won that either. And then I got the Jazz. I got the surprising Jazz +5.5 over the Blazers. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think that game's going to be pretty close, and I can see them keeping it under 5.
For sure. I'm going to take the Bulls +4.5 over the Sixers. I just think that it's going to be a little bit closer than that. I'm going to take the Nets -3 over the Washington Wizards.
Not mad at that.
Wizards are terrible. Brooklyn ain't too much better, but the Wizards are terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to take the Atlanta on the pick 'em against the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Okay. They're at home. I think they handle business. So
not mad at that.
If you go to any of our social media platforms, you'll see the BetUS link to their website. You'll go to it, sign up. This is first-time users only. Sign up, put in the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% signing bonus plus a 10% gambler's insurance because they got other things on the website. The 125% signing bonus means you get 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 deposits, minimum $100 up to $5,000. That means that if you bet $100 on your first 3 deposits and you lose, you keep your money. So you can win money, or on your first 3 deposits, you lose, you can keep your money. So either way, you're keeping your money. So, or you're making more money. So go ahead, sign up, tell them Cris Lamar sent you. Yes, sir. And that does it for our BetUS Surefire picks. Okay. All right. Build the worst and best franchise, NFL edition.
Yeah, man. So I saw this thing on Twitter, man. I thought it would be good. I want to hear my man Cris. He has all the opinions about NFL topics all over the world. So I want my man to build the worst and best franchises. We're going to go through a list of categories. I want you to pick the team or the city or whatever that represents the worst or the best. We're going to start with the worst, because I know my man loves negativity like that. You know what I mean?
I really don't.
All right, so we're going to start it off, my man. Are you ready, sir?
Let's go.
All right. So this is starting with the worst franchise. So logo, who would be the worst?
The worst logo?
Worst logo.
Hold on, I got the
Take your time, brother. Take your time, brother. It's an early morning today.
You know who has the worst logo?
Who?
Because they really don't have a damn logo. The damn Packers.
The Packers? Okay. So I'll put down the Packers. All right. Next up, worst jersey.
The worst jerseys. Woo. That is a good question. Let me see. Probably the Browns.
The Browns? You gonna go with the Browns?
Yeah, I don't like their jerseys.
All right. Next up, the worst stadium.
See, this is difficult because I ain't never been. every stadium.
You ain't got to kind of announce what it is, but I already know which one is the worst though.
It had to be one of my older stadiums.
Mm-hmm. Head in the right direction. I'll give you a hint of what I think. They're in the NFC East.
NFC East.
That's my worst stadium.
Who, the Eagles?
No.
The Commanders?
Yes. Yes. Their stadium is terrible. That is mine. I've been there. That shit is terrible.
I've never been there, so I'm gonna go with the Bears.
You know, the Bears stadium? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just looks, I ain't mad at that. All right, next up. Worst offense.
The worst offense in the NFL?
Yeah.
Ooh. Shit, the way we looking at Super Bowl.
Hey, if you want to say your team, you can say it, man. That's up to you.
I ain't gonna do that.
Who do you think was the worst offense this year? Personally.
The worst offense. This is difficult. Steelers.
Okay. Next up, worst defense.
Oh, the Bengals.
I knew you was gonna say that. I low-key pre-wrote that shit down. All right, worst coaching staff.
It was the Jets.
Jets. Okay. The worst city. It's gonna get you in trouble. But
It is gonna get me in trouble. You trying to set me up. He was trying to line me up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's
trying
trying
to start your week off right, my brother.
Don't kill me for this. Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo. All right. Next up, worst fans.
The Eagles.
Eagles fans. All right. And then worst mascot.
Probably the Browns mascot.
Browns mascot? Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that is. A leprechaun?
Probably the Browns.
I don't even get that shit. All right, we're going to switch over to the best. All right, best logo.
Best logo. This is difficult because there's a lot of good ones, man.
Mm-hmm.
Their team is not that good, but I like the Panthers logo.
The Panthers logo? Okay. I'm not mad at that. Panthers logo. First win in a long time for the Panthers. All right, next up. Best jerseys.
That is difficult. There's a lot of.
There's some good ones. There's some good ones. A lot of old school great ones, but
yeah.
I'm on current right now, so.
And see, here's the thing, because it's some alternate jerseys that are like really dope. Like, of course, the Chargers powder blue jerseys are fire.
They're fire.
I can't stand this team, but the all white Bengals jerseys.
That shit was high. That shit was heat.
The Texans have some nice jerseys.
Mm-hmm. Falcons do.
Falcons. They're cold with it.
Crimsicle Bucks ones are nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Titans ain't too bad either.
No. Broncos got some good ones too.
Yeah, they do.
They got some cool ones.
Do. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Okay. The Kelly Greens.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mad at
the Eagles.
All right, best stadium.
We're gonna just put it down.
All right.
Arrowhead
Stadium. All right, best offense.
Oh, best offense. Oh man. Probably the Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah, I think we all agree to that. All right, best defense.
I want to say my Chiefs, but I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Eagles. It did a great showing during the Super Bowl. All All right, best coaching staff. I think
I'm
it's
gonna say
easy.
Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs, bro. It's the
I'm gonna
Chiefs.
go Chiefs.
I can't even. It's the Chiefs. It's reality, bro. Spags and Andy Reid.
Yeah.
All right, best city.
Best city. Man, I know a lot of people would think LA. I'm gonna go with Texas.
Which one, Dallas or Houston?
I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Dallas. Ain't we gonna say Vegas, dog? You gonna rep the
I
hometown?
love Vegas, but
But no.
it ain't. I don't think it's better than Texas.
Next up, best fans.
Man, Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
Should have known. All right, and then best mascot.
KC Wolf. No, I'm just playing. You know what? I'm gonna show y'all some love. The Raiders.
Yes, sir. Raiders. Let's go. Raiders. All right, man. Hey, not bad, bro. Not bad. I would say out of everything, it's kind of not bad. Not bad. It's cool. I like the list. I'm at it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about your Lakers, man. They got a dub against the Denver Nuggets.
Let's go, baby.
Go ahead and talk about it, man. I ain't get to watch the game, so.
Hey, I'm gonna say this, bro. Like, I know there's been a lot of people that's been questioning our defensive capabilities, but I've said this before. Even with Jokic, AD, we all know how great of a defender he was. He couldn't stop Jokic. Jokic's numbers is always going to be there. It's all about the perimeter defense. Can we stop the Jamal Murrays? Can we stop the Aaron Gordons? Can we stop the Brons? Can we stop those guys? And I think we did a great job in all aspects of our defense. Our communications was top tier. We swarmed Jokic on every time he caught the ball, creating turnovers. Luka Doncic looked like the Luka we've been waiting for. He looked like he was amazing. It looked like they finally gave him the keys to the car. LeBron played off the wing. Austin Rivers, they kind of went back and forth between him and Luka. Played an amazing game. Couple of key things I would love to see better as far as like DFS and Gabe Vincent hitting those wide open threes. You're going to get a lot of wide open threes. I think those guys will eventually hit those, but defensive effort was amazing. Look, man, I'm not saying we're going to beat OKC, but I think we're in contention. I think we can have a capability of beating any team in the West. Because the main thing is Luka Doncic and LeBron James can easily be the best player on the court at any night and any time of the day. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's against the Celtics. I don't care if it's against Shea, anybody. Those two can literally be the best player on the court at any given time. So, and then JJ Redick, man, shout out to you, my brother. You are definitely in coaching of the year candidacy. And shout out to Dan Hurley for denying this job because I see the dirty work that's going on in UConn. Y'all look terrible. Y'all got St. John's did work on y'all yesterday. It's not looking good in UConn right now. I know they're going through a transitional year. They were trying to get their 3P, but that's not happening. So, but shout out to JJ, man, doing a great job. Shout out to Rob Pelinka for creating this thing, man. I was surprised Rob was at the game against where the Mavericks were at in Golden State. I was a little surprised about that. I don't know what's going on with that situation, but great win. We got a big game tomorrow night. Dallas Mavericks coming to LA. The night we've been waiting for. I want everybody to give Anthony Davis, though, a standing ovation. He deserves that. He definitely should get a tribute video. That man definitely deserves that, man. So hopefully it's a great night, man. Great night for AD, but at the end of the day, we get the big dub tomorrow night. So great win.
Cool. All right, man. Let's do NBA 1v1 bracket.
Let's do it, man. So again, man, I love to pick your brain, man. I want to know who you will choose. I made a bracket here. So this bracket, I got 32. We're going to make it quick. We ain't going to go too fast. I'm going to let my man do all the picking right here. But this is the ranking of 1 to 32. This came from the Ringer Report. This is their most recent update one. It was back in January. So this is how they had it ranked. So right now, man, I want my man's ideas, man. I'm trying to get my man more into the NBA game. So I'm very curious to see who he would have winning in this 32 player tournament. So we'll start off with Nikola Jokic versus Bam Adebayo. Who do you have winning?
Who?
Nikola Jokic versus Bam. I got it right there.
Jokic.
Okay. All right, next up, John Morant versus Paolo Banchero.
That's a difficult one. Talking about athleticism versus height and size.
Mm-hmm.
Go with Ja.
Go Ja. Okay. All right, mad at that. Next up, we got Anthony Davis versus Kyrie Irving.
Once again, I'm gonna go Kyrie.
All right. Next up, we got LaMelo Ball versus Stephen Curry.
This is actually a really good match.
That would be a really good matchup.
But I'm gonna go with maturity. I'm gonna go with Steph Curry.
All right, Steph Curry for the win. Next up, this is a great matchup. This is a great matchup. Jason Tatum versus Cade Cunningham. Who do you have?
Cade Cunningham. No, I was playing.
You sure about that? Sure
I'm
about
just
that?
playing. I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum.
You going Jason? All right. Go Jason for the win. All right, next up, we got Oklahoma City's Jalen Williams versus Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
All right, Donovan Mitchell for the win. Next up, we got Karl Anthony Towns versus Domantas Sabonis.
Karl Anthony Towns. Cat.
All right, Cat. Next up, we got, this is great because they got traded for each other. Trae Young versus Luka Doncic. Who you got?
Luka.
All right. Next up, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Tyrese Maxey. Great matchup.
It's a good matchup. Give me Shai.
All right. Next up, we got De'Aaron Fox versus LeBron James.
LeBron James.
All right. Next up, we got Anthony Edwards versus Cleveland Cavaliers' Evan Mobley.
Anthony Edwards.
All right. Next up, we got Damian Lillard versus Victor Wembanyama. This your boy. Damian time.
Why he gotta go against Wemby though?
Hey, it's the way the rankings went, my brother. Hey, it's just the way it is, my brother.
Smart man. It's Dame time. Baby.
You go with Dame over Vic?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. The upset to a lot of people. Next up, we got Kevin Durant versus Tyrese Halliburton.
Come on, man. What are we doing? KD.
All right, next up, we got Orlando Magic's Franz Wagner versus New York Knicks' Jalen Brunson. Who you got?
I'm going with Bronson, man.
Brunson. Next up, we got Jaylen Brown versus Devin Booker. Good matchup. Who you got?
It is a good matchup. I'm gonna go with D-Book.
D-Book, yeah. D-Book got more in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, I think this matchup is very entertaining. Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Give me Giannis, man.
Giannis. All right. So next round, we'll go up. We'll go back. We'll go up and down. So next up, we got Devin Booker versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. Who do you got?
Giannis
for beating Devin. All right. Next up, we got Kevin Durant versus Jalen Brunson.
Kevin
Durant. All right. Got Anthony Edwards versus your boy Damian Lillard. What you got?
I love you, Dame. I got Ant-Man.
Smart man. Hey, this might be the matchup of the whole thing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus LeBron James. Who you got?
I'm going LeBron, man.
You on LeBron? Okay. All right, next up, we got Karl Anthony Towns versus Luka Doncic. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Luka.
Okay. All right, got Jason Tatum versus Donovan Mitchell. Both their teams competing for the number 1 seed. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell.
Hey, okay. All right, my man knows some shit. I ain't mad at that. Oh, finals rematch. Kyrie Irving versus Stephen Curry. Who you got?
I'm going Kyrie.
That one's tough. That won't get the fights going right there. That matchup would. All right, next up, we got Nikola Jokic versus Ja Morant. Who you got?
I love you, Ja. Nikola Jokic is different, man.
Sir, he is. All right, man. Here we go. We're cutting it down. My man's list. All right, next up, we got Nikola Jokic versus Kyrie Irving. Who you got?
This is so clash of the. This is like contrasting styles right here.
100%. This is a great matchup. I would
if
be very
Kyrie can get him on the perimeter, he can win.
Yep.
If Jokic gets him down low, it's over.
Facts.
I'm gonna go Kyrie by Smidge.
Smidge, all right, got the
I just
upset.
think
Kyrie Irving.
I think Kyrie's skills are more 1v1 ready.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'll probably might pick Kyrie over myself. All right, next up, huge matchup. We got Donovan Mitchell versus Luka Doncic. Who you got?
This would be a good match right here. But I'm an edge Donovan. I think he plays a little bit more defense than what's in there.
Got you. I'm not mad at that pick. All right, here we go. Heavy hitters. The LeBron James, the elder statesman, versus Anthony Edwards, the up-and-coming superstar. Who do you have in this matchup?
I'm gonna go LeBron.
LeBron James. I think that game would be amazing to watch.
It would be amazing.
All right, next up, another heavy hitter. We got the great Kevin Durant versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. Who do you have?
That'd be a great match too. See, if Giannis gets him down low, it's over. Like, he's banging on him every time.
Yep.
But if Durant gets him on that perimeter, he ain't be able to guard that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edge Kev.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm gonna edge Kev.
All right, man. Semifinals. We got some great matchups, man. So we got Kyrie Irving versus Donovan Mitchell. We'll start off with that one. Who do you have?
I got Kyrie.
Kyrie at the championship. I'm not mad. I think a lot of people will have Kyrie at the championship game. And then next up, this is definitely the biggest matchup. Everybody been waiting for this one. LeBron James versus Kevin Slim Reaper Durant. Who do you got winning?
I got Kevin Durant, man.
You got Kevin Durant being King James?
I think his shot selection is a little bit bigger than Dylan Brown.
Okay. All right. That might be an upset for some people. All right, so championship game. Kyrie Irving versus Kevin Durant. Who do you got?
I'm going Kyrie.
Kyrie Irving is Chris's 1v1 champ. Hey, man. Hey. I'm not mad at that list, brother. I'm really surprised by some of this. Only thing I might switch up, I think Cade beats Jason Tatum. I personally think Cade beats Jason Tatum. The Stephen Curry LaMelo Ball, that one's a toss-up. That one's definitely 50-50. But besides that, man, I low-key agree with everything you said. Obviously, the Damian Lillard Victor Wembanyama thing, I don't think that. That's just me, but I get it. Support your boy. The toughest one for me would probably be that Shai Gilgeous versus LeBron James. I might decide with Shai, but I'm not mad at people picking LeBron. I'm not mad. But hey, man, after you doing this list, this bracket, how much more would you love to see after you see everything played out in the rankings and stuff like that, and the way the bracket moved? How much would you love to see this be initiated for All-Star Weekend? Obviously, it wouldn't be this much, many players, but top.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. You know what I'm saying? I think it would bring in some good competition. Yeah. It'll be fun to see. The dudes would definitely have to bring their A game because they don't want to get embarrassed. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, man. Best of 10. We saw with the women. They went up to 10. I think it would be a great matchup, man. I think it'll be something different. Obviously, we would all love to see the All-Star game get back to its original glory, but I wouldn't mind if there's this like something like this, in between Olympics. You know what I mean? Like, let's say they did like a 1v1 tournament, race some shit for charity, raise it for a good cause. Winner gets, $1 million for charity to whatever charity that they choose, and obviously some cash for them or whatever. Man, I think it would be a great idea, man. I think that's something that they should really consider.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about NFL offseason outlook. NFC North edition. We got the Packers and the Bears. We'll start with the Packers first. Mm-hmm. Packers. Who did they lose to in the playoffs?
They lost to. Did they lose to?
Was it the Vikings?
Nah.
No, man.
Nah.
I forgot who they lost to. It was the Eagles, wasn't it?
Eagles. It was the
Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, it was the Eagles.
It was the Eagles, yeah.
We both said this about the Packers. They need a true number one wide receiver. They need a go-to guy that Jordan Love feels comfortable with. I think 2 through 4, they already got that set. You know what I'm saying? It'd be interesting to see if they bring back Romeo Dobbs. I know he's a free agent. He
Mhm.
might want to go somewhere else to, get better usage. But you still got Reed, you still got Wicks. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Christian Watson. I know he had the ACL tear, so maybe they bring Dobbs back because of that, or they'll draft a guy or sign somebody in free agency. But they definitely need a number one wide receiver. They need a go-to guy. I
Mhm.
think they could add another pass rusher to that team, a more dominant pass rusher. I know they had I forgot the dude's name. I know they drafted one guy. He was pretty good. But they need another pass rusher to go on the other side so they could put pressure on the quarterback, possibly get the ball more back to Jordan Love. Um, and I think they need another corner. Um, I know what's your names. They said that they're gonna let him go. What's the quarter name?
You talking about Jair?
Yeah, Alexander. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're possibly letting him go because he's injury prone. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't really played football, and the best ability is availability. So I can see them going through the draft and possibly signing like a free agent, maybe a DJ Reed or somebody like that. Bring him in with a rookie, and I think they got a couple of young corners over there too that actually play really well against the Eagles. Yeah, man, I think that's what they need. Wide receiver one, a pass rusher, and another corner. And I think the Packers could set to, possibly, they're in a tough division, but I could see them, possibly taking that next step next year if they can get some of those positions solidified.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think obviously the rumors of Jair Alexander either being released, traded, or whatever the case may be with that situation. Obviously, he's a great young talent, but the injury situation has been a big problem. I think that's been one of the key holes for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they in the draft maybe look at cornerback. Obviously, free agency, maybe look at cornerback. I don't know how much money they have available to them. Um, Not really sure, but obviously AJ Dillon, I think he's going to be a free agent as well, so that might be something that they maybe look forward as far as like a backup running back to Josh Jacobs. Like I love Josh, but he does have some injury history as well to him. He had a great year last year, but just to be on the safe side, I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at a running back maybe in the draft, later in the draft or something like that. A lot of great young running backs coming in, so that I wouldn't be surprised about that. I agree with you though. I think the main thing for them should be receiver, finding you a top-notch receiver. Christian Watson, who knows when he's going to be available, if at all next year. The Romeo Dobbs situation, he has. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go because I think they probably like Jalen Reed a little bit more than Romeo
Hmm.
Dobbs. Me personally, if you can get a Devontae Adams, if you can, maybe surprise and get a T Higgins or something like that, I think that would do wonders for Jordan Love and all. I wouldn't be surprised if they also got a little bit of O-line help. There were some questions on the O-line as far as like the pressure of Jordan Love getting to him. Obviously, I think there might be a couple older guys on that O lineman, but we got to see. But overall, man, I think they're in a great position to compete in this division. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if they were the favorites going in, depending on if certain situations were to happen. As far as like them getting a top tier receiver and a cornerback to kind of help out that defense, but I think they're in a great position to be competing. You got the quarterback, so that's pretty much half the battle right there. And I love the coach. I like Matt LaFleur. I have no problem with
Yes.
Matt LaFleur at all.
And the Green Bay Packers have an estimated 49.1 million. That
That's
probably
not
might
bad.
that
That's
might
not bad.
that could possibly increase
To like
with
50 some, yeah, depending on the
Alexander and all them. So depending on the dead cap money.
yeah.
But yeah, they got a little money to work with.
Mhm.
So
So they
they could
could pay
probably,
a Devontae Adams.
yeah.
What I mean, they could pay for some, maybe get Devontae Adams for the cheap. Like obviously he's not going to cost you like 18, 19, 20 million, but
Mhm.
maybe get him for like 12, 13. And then you still have enough money to, play with as far as like if there's a running back or obviously I would assume they'll probably look at cornerback situation or maybe a linebacker situation or whatever the case may be to help that defensive out. Yeah, man,
Maybe
I
they
think they're in a
maybe
good
they,
position.
maybe they look into a Nick Bolton. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
maybe. Yeah, I think he would. I think he would do really, really well for that defense. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
his lateral movement is really well. He tackles really good. Obviously, obviously there are some injury problems, but you can say that about a lot of players in the NFL. But I
Yeah.
think that would be a great fit. You get Nick Bolton, you add a Devontae Adams, you add like a decent corner that can either fit alongside Jair Alexander or replace him. I think they're in a great position. You know what I mean? I think there's still some uncertainties with, what I mean, the Vikings, which I know we're going to talk about. We don't know the situation with the Bears. I know there is a lot of hype with that team, but we got to still see. I think the Packers should still be the favorites in that division going in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now let's talk about the Chicago Bears. I mean, the obvious answer for them is offensive line.
100%. That's all they should. That's all they should be
All
doing. All go from left to right.
I'm
That's it.
I'm not mad at them if they overpay Ronnie Staley right now. I know he's injury prone, but you got to do what you got to do. Ronnie
Yeah.
Staley, Cam Robinson, Alec Jackson, Dan Moore Jr., like any of
Mhm.
those guys. Tyron Smith. I know he's old, but you
Mhm.
guys solidify that that offensive line and go in the draft and possibly get somebody who could sit. Maybe you get a Tyron Smith and get a young guy who maybe needs to develop a little bit and let him sit
Mhm.
behind Tyron Smith. So in 2026, you got your offensive line solidified. So they definitely need offensive line. I think they need another pass rusher too. I think the
Mhm.
defense is really good, but they can use another pass rusher on the other side of Montez Sweat. I think Sweat is good, but a Josh Sweat, maybe they bring him in. You know what I'm saying? Um, any of these pass rushers can come in and maybe get one in the draft too and solidify that. I think they need to get help with the safety position too. I think their corners are pretty good, but they can get a safety. I know Juan Thornhill. He possibly going to get cut. I think he's a pretty good free safety. You add him to Chicago, I think that's a good fit for
Mhm.
Chicago right there.
Mhm.
Or you get one in the draft. Maybe you get the kid from Texas, Andrew Abuke. I think he's
Mhm.
a really good free safety. He's a playmaker, but they need that on the back end. And maybe another wide receiver. It depends. It's going to be funny what they do. Maybe they looking to trade DJ Moore with his situation, how he was acting towards Caleb Williams, and the dysfunction there. Maybe they go for it with what's the kid name? The guy drafted.
Ramadunze.
Yeah, Rome. Maybe they go forward with him. There was some chemistry there with them. You still got Cole Kmet. Maybe you can get you a first round pick for DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? Trade him
Mhm.
off somewhere else. Maybe trade him to Washington or something like that.
Mhm.
And he becomes, the receiver. Him and Terry McLaurin can team up and do their thing over there. So it'd be interesting to see. But if they do keep him, I still think that they should bring in another wide receiver,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
another speed guy. They need speed on that team. A guy who can, get open one on one, don't need help, don't need to be schemed up, could
Mhm.
just run past somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I
Tyler
think that
Lockett. Tyler Lockett would be good.
and also I like Swift, but I think they need to draft a running back. They need to get one of those running backs from Ohio State. They need to get Ollie Gordon, DJ Giddens, any one of those Devin Neal, any one of those running backs. They need to get a running back that can open up that offense a lot more. Like I said, I like Swift, but I think they need another running back. So those are the things I think that the Bears should use. And they're another team that if they can solidify, look, you're not going to get everything in one offseason. But if they can just solidify this offensive line, that's the main card right there.
Yeah.
Nothing else is going to matter if the offensive line is still terrible. So if they can get a solid offensive line to give Caleb Williams time to throw the football down the field, I think the Bears can be primed to at least be a playoff team.
No, I agree with you. I agree with everything you kind of said. Like, O line should definitely be the number one priority for this team. I agree with you on the running back situation. I was going to kind of say that. I think I always wouldn't be surprised if they kind of mimic what they did with the Detroit Lions, where you had Montgomery, you had the speedster. So maybe it's a situation. I think DeAndre Swift is like kind of like the speedster of the running back crew. Maybe you try to get a Najee Harris and you get the bruiser or something like that. Maybe you try to get an AJ Dillon if you decide to go more of a veteran route of that situation to kind of help with pass blocking and stuff like that. Obviously, you do want the younger talent because they'll be a lot cheaper, but it might take them a little bit longer if they're sus on the pass protection and stuff like that. At least you get a veteran in there. It also helps with the offensive line with pass protection and stuff like that, moving the ball. You play more play action with Caleb Williams and stuff like that. I'm very curious to see kind of like the offensive operations that Ben Johnson implements with a Caleb Williams. I know he kind of hinted that it's not going to look similar to Detroit, but I think it's still going to be Detroit style offense. You know what I mean? That we've seen the last couple of years. I know he's saying that won't be, but I don't believe it. I agree with you. I remember I was on the boat that they would trade DJ Moore, but I think DJ Moore might have a different attitude with Ben Johnson there. He has more of an offensive minded coach. Yeah. And then with DJ Moore, like at the end of the day, you could get so creative with him, playing him in the back, you know what I mean? Playing him, reverses, all that stuff. I'll be curious to see how Ben Johnson uses DJ Moore. You got a room of Dunze. I agree with you. Get you another solid slot receiver, whether it's like a Tyler Lockett or whoever the case may be, who may be available, or maybe in the draft, get you a young talent. I said there's a slew of young wide receivers that are available. You can always go that route. Safety need help. Defensive line, I wouldn't be surprised if they went after another potential D lineman. Look, they got $72 to $75 million in cap space. That's nothing to sneeze at. So they have a lot of money to play with as far as like what they want to do and how they want to kind of like play with it. But hey, look, at the end of the day, Chicago Bears might be the most talented team in this division. I think they could easily say that about this team. But at the end of the day, it all comes to, can Caleb Williams produce, and can they get him steering in the right direction and get that offensive line going? If they can get the offensive line going and protect Caleb Williams, hey man, they could be one of the surprising teams next year as far as like I wouldn't say championship contenders, but playoff contenders.
Playoffs definitely. Like they got the pieces there. It's just like I said, solidify that offensive line, get some more help on the back end of that secondary, and because their defense is actually really good. It kept them in a lot of games. It's just that offense just never could get going. It just seemed like it was just tough. It was like a grind, and I get it. They was working with an interim coach. So they really didn't have a real game. But even with Eberflus, it just seemed like the game plan was just like so basic and vanilla.
No creativity at all.
Yeah, at all. So they definitely, with Ben Johnson, you're going to get that creativity and some of the things that they're going to do. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be something to see what he can do with a quarterback with the capabilities of Caleb Williams. You saw what he did with a Goff, who's nowhere near athletically close to Caleb Williams' arm strength or, just running wise. So it's going to be interesting to see what he could do with Caleb Williams. So.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to him is get his reactionary confidence back. Like you could just tell he was just holding on the ball a little bit too long. He wasn't confident in what he was reading. That's going to be the main key for him. You know what I mean? Can he get his reactionary confidence back? Like, yeah, he's always going to be a confident guy, but are you confident enough where you can read and react the correct way and keep it at a fast pace? We saw that the likes at Oklahoma, we saw that at USC, but can he regain that? I didn't see that last year with Caleb Williams. I think it's there, but it wasn't there. And then, all right, it has a lot to do with that offensive line not producing, but some of that stuff had to go with him too. He wasn't really helping the situation out by holding on to the ball. So.
Yeah, he held on to the ball way too long. Yeah. But I imagine that even if, let's say, that the offensive line does have his issues, Ben Johnson will be creative enough to, help his quarterback out to get the ball out of his hands quicker, more quick screens, more, short, intermediate routes type things like that to DJ Moore, use him more creatively, like you said. Get the tight end Cole Kmet more involved in the game plan than they usually did. We know that Cole Kmet has he could be a good solid tight end. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's Brock Bowers or anything like that, but I think he's gonna be in that second tier of tight ends that could be really good and give you 700 to 800 yards, maybe 6 to 7 touchdowns if you utilize them right. So I think
sorry to interrupt, but could you see the Bears possibly trading up for an offensive tackle? Like if they see something, like see a player that they really like, maybe just like, yo, we're going to go all in on this guy?
Of course. I could see them trading up to go get the boy from Texas. Hell, I could see them trading up, maybe get up real high and go get Will Campbell, because I think he's the best offensive lineman in this draft is Will Campbell. So you get the kid from LSU, now you got your left tackle of the future.
You think they should? You think they should?
Of course, I definitely think they should look into that. You got a franchise quarterback, bro, and he's under a rookie contract. You got to do what you can to protect him, period, but protect him from himself, because he has a little bit of that improvisation to where he holds the ball a little bit too long, and he's going to try to make something happen. So you got to protect him. So. Yeah. get Will Campbell. If you can't get him, you go up that high. Maybe you get up to about 8, 9, and get Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. So they definitely need to think about looking into that if they don't want to spend money and go with a true and tried free agent like a Ronnie Staley or Cam Robinson. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they'll look into explore that first. Maybe you could sign a Cam Robinson or Ronnie Staley into a 2-3 year deal and make the 3-year option. You know what I'm saying? And still, you could draft a young, like I said, a young tackle who has the capabilities. He's just young and he needs a year to develop. So you sit him a couple of years and then bam, when Cam Robinson or whatever, you cut one of them, now you got your guy you could just push in there to be your left tackle of the future. So
yeah, I'm not mad at that.
All right, man. That's our NFC offseason look at NFC North. Wednesday, we will be doing the Vikings and the Lions. So be looking forward to that. This is going to be part of our offseason till we get to the draft, man. We do our live stream on the first round on Thursday.
Yep, we are doing
April 24th. We're going to get that set up. Possibly, I'm probably going to get a flyer made so we can, get the word out, get you guys prepped up so you guys can come here and watch the draft with us. We'll probably have some special guests to come on, represent their team. I know Stan, get him to come on when his Giants pick offensive lineman.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm gonna try to ask we'll try to ask somebody, see if they're down to come on, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to ask KD, man, see if he can come on for a little bit, man. So see if I can make that happen.
See if I can get my other boy Jamal to come on. He's a Titans fan. See how he reacts to his Titans when they trade out of that pick and don't get a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. I got a Bills fan, so I got my homie Nick. I'm gonna try to see if I can hit him up. Maybe he can come on. I know he got his kids and stuff like that. Maybe he can come on for the Bills pick.
When they traded to us,
bro. If the Bills do that again, bro. Oh my god, bro. I don't want.
When they traded to us, we get Johnny Barron from Texas.
Man, it'll be insane, bro.
Are we trade above them? No.
Hell no.
That's what we did with Trim McDuffie.
Bro, don't do that again, bro. Don't do that.
Poor Bills.
And it'll always be that fucking team that fucking ruin your ass. Like, bro, come on, man.
I ain't gonna lie. But last year when they traded with the Chiefs, I was like, really? Why? Even if you didn't think Xavier Worthy was worth anything, I'm not letting the Chiefs get him.
Hell no. Anybody but the Kansas City Chiefs, bro. You could have traded him to the Saskatchewan Wranglers, bro. Like, bro, what do y'all do?
I'm not letting him get a hold of that speed. Hell no. Andy Reid, he got a type.
Crazy, bro.
Oh, man.
I was going to bring up the Matthew Stafford, but I'll probably wait till Wednesday. I'll just wait till Wednesday. There's a lot of rumors about him going around today.
Yeah, we'll get into some Matthew Stafford stuff. I saw a clip of Channing. What's his name? His name Channing Frye?
Oh, yeah.
I saw a clip on him talking about the future of the NBA and why it's going to diminish. I wanted to get your opinion. I'll show the video on Wednesday. So
okay, for sure.
So, all right, man. Who gets your flowers of the week, man?
So flowers of the week goes to these two lovely ladies that unfortunately passed away, Roberta Flack and Valletta Wallace. Valletta Wallace, she is the mother of Notorious B.I.G. Roberta Flack, she's a well-known singer, artist. Both of these ladies passed over the weekend, so I do want to send my condolences to their families, to these great, iconic women. Prayers out to them and wish them a speedy flight up to the heavens above, man, and prayers out to their families, man, and hope they get the peace and love that they all truly deserve.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm with you on both of those. Two icons, Miss Wallace, what I'm saying? She gave birth to one of the greatest of all times when it comes to, hip hop. And, she was just a good woman. So, sad to see her go. Same thing with Roberta Flack, great singer, iconic singer, you know what I'm saying? So, but my flowers go to Mr. Jermaine Cole.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Brother.
Yeah.
You all right over there, man? I get it, man. The clouds track, man. Why you going in like that, man?
Yeah, it's fire, bro.
Both verses just going in. Like first verse, you had to let everybody know you still got the skills, and in the second verse, you just breaking the world down on this. Like, if this is what the fallout is gonna be, oh man,
might be his best project. Might be his best project.
Hey Cole, if you rapping like this, brother, what's your name's on PG Lane now, so he ain't gotta, worry about, top dog stopping him. On top of 2020, maybe top of 2020, bottom of 2026, maybe top of 2027. We get that joint album, man.
Like, do you think we get any Kendrick or any Drake features on this album?
No, J. Cole. J. Cole is like the cool dude that everybody like, regardless of how I feel about dude over there. You my guy.
Like, I fuck with you, but
that dude over there, nah.
Yeah, the nigga you fuck with.
Don't put me on the track with you and him on there.
Right.
Put me on a separate track, just you and me, or anybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wouldn't be surprised if both of them on there. But I would be more surprised if Drake is on there, actually, because you know how picky he is with his verses selections.
I think a Drake feature would do good for him because I think it will bring out the best in Drake. Even with Kendrick, if there's anybody that could heal, let's say if there is a hypothetical world where this relationship between Drake and Kendrick Lamar could get healed, J. Cole would be the guy that would be able to. I'm not saying it would ever happen. I'm just saying if there is one person that probably could try to heal this whole situation, it would be J. Cole, just the type of person he is. I personally would not be surprised if we got a Kendrick and we got a J. Cole feature. Because it's just the amount of love and respect they have for J. Cole. And then just the way he just kind of bowed out. I know that was kind of like the big thing. I know even me and you kind of got on J. Cole, but at the end of the day, he made the correct decision. So I really look at what he did in a different type of manner. Honestly, I think he played his cards right. He knew it was a no-win situation for him, especially because at the end of the day, it wasn't really about him. It was about those two other gentlemen that were involved. So, hey man, Kendrick, hopefully we get an announcement on the date soon. I know this was rumored to come out last year, like last winter, but maybe we get it pretty soon. Maybe we get it in April, maybe we get it March, maybe I don't know when you expect we get this album.
With the fallout, summertime.
Think summer? Is that like May or something?
By summertime. I think he's gearing this up.
Well, didn't he say the one thing where he's like, I'm gonna have new music before my festival or something like that? When's this festival?
I don't know. That
might be the key. That might be the key when the date might be coming, or at least we'll get like maybe a couple of new singles or something like that.
So, I think he's prepping us for it. But hey, this is a good start. This is what you do. See, Drake. You see, take notes, Drake. This is what you do, man. You drop heat.
Yeah. Not that Nokia bullshit. Baby girl. Like, nah. That's just trash, bro. Sorry. Yeah. If I hear that shit one more time, bro, I'm about to snap. Somebody coming to me, baby girl.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Y'all get the flowers.
Yeah, I got quick two. I said it earlier. The first one was Raider fans going at Shedeur Sanders for not throwing at the draft. That's idiotic. I saw quite a few Raider fans saying this is why we don't want him and all that. I'm like, bro, like y'all tripping. First time I'm gonna go against my Raider Nation fans, like y'all bugging. Shedeur Sanders will definitely be an upgrade for what we got. He's a really good quarterback. Accuracy is amazing. He's talented. He deserves better. We've seen other quarterbacks not throwing the combine. It's not the end of the world. And then second are people that are having negative responses to the Eagles not going to the White House. I don't know why this is a big deal either. They made their choice. They have their rights. If they chose not to go, and they probably did it as a collective effort. I'm sure there were players on that team that were down to go to the White House, but they were like, yo, we're going to go as one team, one squad. If one person don't want to go, none of us are going. And you got to admire that at the end of the day. So, a lot of, people that are pretty upset about it. They think it's disrespectful. I've seen plenty of other teams not go before. It was not that big of a deal. So it's their right, it's their choice, and it is what it is, man. So I think people are just bugging on that.
Yeah, my hell no goes to all you people mad at the Shakur Stevenson fight, talking about it took him to the ninth round and knocked dude down. Y'all never satisfied. Never. And y'all give more and more excuses for Tank to be like, I don't want to fight him. Look, it took him to the ninth round knockout dude. How about Tank, you just get in the ring and show us, man? If you so much better than dude, show us. So all y'all get a hell nah for the way y'all be acting, especially on my timeline. Y'all are ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
All right, man. Got anything else?
Nah, man. Really don't have anything, man. Yeah, it's just, enjoy the last day off, man, before going back to work. Go check on my tire, see if my tire ain't losing air again. What about you, man? What you got going on the rest of the day?
Nothing, man. She got this doctor's appointment I gotta go to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, all right, man. Well, let's give a shout out to Magnet Sports Drink.
Yes, sir. The ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps, fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Its power-packed electrolytes rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Maul to get $5 off your purchase. Again, the promo code is Cris and Maul. Save $5, man. Get you a drink, get you some energy. Shout out.
Yeah, man. Also, go to any of our social media outlets and you can see the printed file link to get our shirts, man. We got the white ones, we got the black ones, we got the hoodies. We got a couple more shirts got another shirt dropping soon. And then we might have a hat coming too. So go ahead and tap in with us. Get our shirts, $25. Hoodies are $50. But it's about to start getting warm. So get your shirt. And yeah, man, represent the pod and tag us, and we'll shout you out on the show. Shout out to Ebony for getting the shirt. If you want to donate to the Cris Mall podcast, you can donate to our Cash App, Cris Mall podcast. Whatever you want to give us, we will greatly appreciate it. So, whatever streaming platform you use, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, whatever you use to listen to your podcast on, the Cris Mall podcast is available. Also, if you're first time watch on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can jump in the lives. You can talk about these topics. Give us your opinion. If you agree with us, disagree with us, we want to hear from you. Same thing on the playback. If you're listening on the playback, drop a comment in the comment section and give us your opinion, man. We want to hear from the people. So, yeah, subscribe to the channel. Mm-hmm. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, any of those social media platforms, whatever you use, you can follow us at Cris and Maul. We will follow you back. we want to hear from you, critiques, feedback, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up on the show, you can hit us up via email, DM, or our mentions. If we like said question or topic, we will bring it up on the show. We'll shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and follow us and hit us up. All right, good people. Until Wednesday evening, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, next 2 days, and we will see you Wednesday night. So, till then, we out.